Friends, there are times when defeat and discouragement can get the best of me. When I started living more simply a few years ago, I dove headfirst into certain tasks and just ways of living that were maybe a little less familiar to me. I have been having to self-teach myself so many new things. Gardening, growing and raising our own food, primarily cooking from scratch, choosing to buy secondhand, and with that comes sprucing things up because that just comes with the territory. Choosing to live as a one-car family. You see, there's less convenience in how we are currently living. And yes, this is what I choose, this is what we choose, and I could just as very well decide to choose something different. But for right now, this is where we're at, and this is what we're doing. It's been humbling. I'm probably more of a romanticist than a realist. I'm pretty easygoing and quite a content person. But guys, I still struggle sometimes. I still fall victim to self-pity. And that, my friends, is destructive. Y'all, I have had a hard week in my garden. Mostly the hard comes up here. There's many of my plants that aren't thriving like I want them to be. Some of my harvests are not plentiful. I'm getting a little bit of disease on some of my plants. So my gardening area in my life it's been discouraging. I even ripped out some cucumber plants because I just got so sick of looking at them, and I was so angry, and I just took them out because I told myself I just can't look at them anymore. They're not doing well. I don't even know if they're going to produce another cucumber. The one cucumber that it did produce, the one of them, tasted awful. I don't even know. It's something with my soil. This is our first year here, so needs to be a lot of amendments to the soil, and we're trying to balance all of that. Plus, guys, I'm learning, but it's been so discouraging. Then in another area, home educating my children, I've had some really big moments of self-defeat where I'm just doubting myself this past 2 weeks. I've been really hard on myself concerning their education and home learning. Really hard on myself. And as a result of that, there's just been a little more tension. And that tension, sadly, has crept up between myself and my kids. Okay, and then I bought some furniture, secondhand. Okay, not all completely secondhand. Actually, one of the pieces in this video, the white twin bed headboard, and dumpster diving. We found that at the dumpster, actually. So I'm working on sanding it down, refinishing it, and painting it. But with that has come, well, I've had to work on it, and there are just some skills that, you know, I've never learned, never was taught, so I'm kind of self-teaching myself while my husband is working. I'm trying to do these things, and I'm just a little crappy in these areas, and it frustrates me so much because I tell myself I know I can do these things, and then what happens is, especially when he's not around, tools come apart, or I don't know how to properly work them, and I just get frustrated. All of this compiled together just gets me down. It's, in some regards, I as I'm saying all of this and just articulating it, it's kind of like, Bethany, you're a little silly. You see, who I am, most of the time, I just suck it up. I take on these challenges because I thrive with being challenged and taking on new things and finding new skills. But sometimes, I let it get the best of me. And this past week, I let it get the best of me. I'm sharing this because of authenticity. Life, friends, can be hard. Life can be difficult. Things happen and come up that we aren't planning for, or we don't expect it. But that doesn't take our value away. Just because of the difficulty and the confusion and the things that just compounding in from left and right, it does not take away who we are and the value that we have. You see, when I realized that the self-pity was just taking over, I really had to have this hard inner conversation with myself. Self-pity is my enemy. I had to replace the self-pity with truths about myself. And you know what else I chose to do? I chose to laugh. I chose to have fun. And boy, does that make a world of difference. Some simple things that I actually did, and I'm sharing this because I want you to know that all it did was take some simple things to kick myself out of this self-pity gear. Simple things. And here are some of the things that I happened to do this week whenever, I just felt that self-pity from the defeat and discouragement. I popped some popcorn and I watched an old movie with my kids. I exercised. Hello, endorphins. Need I say more? And then I cooked with my husband. My husband and I really love to cook in the kitchen together, but a lot of times because of him working and the time that he gets home, I typically try to already be cooking dinner or have it done, just because it makes for a smoother evening. But every once in a while, that doesn't happen. And so I said the other night, I said, let's cook together. So we stopped and got a bottle of red wine and we cooked together. And it just makes the world a difference. It makes something a chore or a task, just a mundane type of thing that you got to do all the time. It brings a little flavor to it and it makes it more exciting and fun. It brings me joy. So those are some simple things that I did to just snap myself out of this self-pity. defeat in our life from time to time, it's real. We are all human. But just remember not to allow that defeat to root itself in you and make you a victim of self-pity. Friends, try some simple things when those come up. Like me, I'm speaking to myself. Remember some simple actions that you can take to snap yourself out of it. Things that bring you joy. All right, I think I'm going to leave that there. So, I don't know, maybe you want to share in the comments. Have you been feeling discouragement lately? Are you going through a season where you just feel some defeat? What are some things, simple things that you're doing to just kind of kick yourself back into gear and to speak truth to yourself and to bring yourself joy? We're all there. We're all human. All right, my friends, until next week, go ahead and don't forget to live some beautifully slow and simple moments. Catch you next week. Bye, guys.